Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Moody Dreamer, and this is a floral Furby drawing that I have for you guys today. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my process and the materials and how I just go about making drawings like this. Here you just see like the initial outline drawing. I don't always try to use regular pencils when I draw. Sometimes when I'm thinking about the colors and just like the whole color scheme involved and even like the color of the paper, I like to think about that. So sometimes I'll use like a regular, like Ticonderoga pencil or just like any regular lead pencil. And other times I'll use a color pencil. So for this one, for the initial drawing, I did use like a pink color pencil. And it worked out. I mean, I don't do it all the time, so I can't say for sure like if I love it or if I hate it, but I do it just, so it's easier to hide the lines. When I draw, I like to go for as realistic as I feel like getting or I can possibly get, just depending on how I feel. I'm very chill with especially these Furby drawings. I'm very chill with them. I don't really like to plan too much or think about anything, too extraneous. They're really, a way for me to experiment and study and explore and get out just like any random, surreal, magical idea that I have. So that's what you'll be seeing in this video. So far what's happened is I've done the drawing and I've now started to apply the color application and the color application for me in this process was pastel and color pencil. So I started out with pastel on the bottom. I used very textured pastel paper, or it's not technically pastel paper, but it's paper that's textured and meant for pastel, which I can get into another video, but I know a lot of artists already talk about this. It's just like the Mi-Teintes paper. It's like super thin, so I wouldn't really recommend it for anything besides dry color application. So like I said, things like color pencils and pastel, So here I've done the initial layer of pastel, and now I'm going in with color pencil, and I'm really just working in, the darker parts. And one regret I do have with this drawing is maybe not flipping the paper over to the slightly smoother side. The reason why I chose the more textured side of this paper, mainly it's because I really didn't know how much pastel I was going to use at the beginning, and the more pastel you layer on, it's a little harder for the color pencils to like shine through. It takes a little longer for them to shine through. So I wasn't really trying to go super heavy, but because I didn't go super heavy, I wasn't really able to cover up all the texture on the paper. So that is something that I'm like, probably could have flipped it over to the other side, and for the next drawing, I might try that for the next Furby. Here we're just going in with the fur texture. Well, my biggest tip for fur, I would have to say, especially with fur that's like from a stuffed animal or something fake, is that it doesn't have to be super realistic looking. It can definitely have like that, like fake fur texture, which is exactly what you're going for. I know for a lot of people, they usually say, find clumps of it and start with that. And that's essentially what I did here. You just kind of go with like the color pattern and then you clump it together. And that's how you can start to get that texture to come through. A lot of other artists probably have a better explanation for this. I'll try and see if I can figure out how to better talk about fur textures, because I'm not like 100% best. Like for the most part, I really only do fur textures when I'm doing Furbies. I don't draw like animals all the time. And if I do draw, I really love to draw birds, and birds are more feathers, so that's a slightly different process. Furbies are a great way to exercise and figuring out how to do that texture and it not be so upsetting when it's not super realistic. That's like the cool thing about drawing toys and stuffed animals and stuff. Random facts, there's just like this whole community of people who buy Furbies, especially the old design, because I know they've had a couple of re-edits, or maybe only one. I know the new Furbies, I'm not really feeling the new Furbies as much as I like these old like 90s Furbies. Like that's the photo that I sourced from. It's like an old school like 90s, you know, Hasbro Furby. And the new ones are a little more like sleek and like simplified. I really love how these sort of, you know, just have like that nostalgic feel. And I really do like Furbies. I actually do. I don't own any, and I only had like the McDonald's versions, like when they were really popular and McDonald's came out. That was like the only like real Furby I had, because that's just what we could afford, I guess. I don't know, but I really do like them, and I really love the community that's been created, you know, just by the longevity of them being around. So a lot of people will take Furbies and they'll, you know, redesign them, repaint their eyes, like dye the fur, like refurbish them and all that type of stuff, and create like their own cool, like more fantasy, mystical, however they're feeling, because I've seen a lot of different ones. And I know like it's really popular right now on YouTube. I've been seeing like, you know, those people who like refurbish Barbies and Bratz and like really make them look like really, really good. So I know it's like a whole community. So this is sort of like my appreciation towards that community for, you know, keeping this beautiful invention and toy alive, because even though I didn't own any real Furbies growing up, they were a huge part of my childhood, and I tried to collect as many of those McDonald's version Furbies as I possibly could. I actually really loved them because they were plastic and they just had like the little like fake, I don't know, tuft of hair at the top, and then the rest was just like a plastic body, which, you know, I feel like would keep them nicer a little longer, especially when you're a kid and, you know, you like do weird stuff with your toys, like color on them, draw on them, and all that type of stuff. This is me moodifying my Furby. So here you see me adding a lot of, you know, clouds and rainbows and just things that I just like really enjoy. And I'm really just letting my imagination do what it does. You know, if I see something and I feel like I want it there, I'm putting it there. So like right now I'm putting in some flowers at the top. Hopefully you guys, you know, aren't gonna be too harsh on me, because low-key I was not gonna draw that other ear. I was just like, man, I'm not doing that other ear. So another good reason to, you know, just like have fun with like these type of drawings. It's like you can omit whatever you want, you can add whatever you want, and you know, whoever has a problem with it, you have to realize it's their problem. It's not your problem, because you're happy with the drawing. And if you're not, you can just keep going. And I think that's the hardest part for most artists, is figuring out when to stop. For me, I was done with this drawing, and like the next day I was like, man, I've already recorded it and I've already started editing, but I really want to add like all these things. Save it for the next drawing. That's like my number one rule of thumb. Whatever you couldn't fit into this drawing, save it for the next one, and just try it and reach that goal in the next one. Because really what it does, it creates this cycle of, oh man, I missed out, I could have did this with that. Okay, the next one. So it creates like this healthy cycle of you know, continuing to work and draw and perfect and figure out like aesthetically how you want your work to look. So I highly recommend like doing these with the intent of finishing them, but not with the intent of them being perfect. You know, definitely have fun and be free with these type of drawings, like, you know, drawings where you're really just doing it for yourself and, you know, maybe hoping and praying other people will enjoy it too. Wink, wink. That is the thought process behind this. here I have myself finishing up like the in-between stuff. I didn't go super trippy with this. At the end of the video, you guys will see a couple of other Furby drawings I've done, and those to me feel a little more psychedelic, I feel like, than this one. This one was definitely more about the floral, like rainbow land, like flowers, and just like that was the thought with this. So that is why I chose the colors I chose, why this mood is the way it is. And then the other Furby drawings, they have a very different mood of their own. Here I'm just finishing up with a flower. It's a very simple flower. I didn't source any photos. I literally just made these flowers up. The three on the bottom, I'm just gonna be real, not feeling them, not really feeling them, but it was like towards the end of the drawing and I was really ready for it to be over. And that's another thing, when you're ready for something to be over, finish it. Finish it as fast as possible, because the longer you sit with it, the more likely, well, for me personally, that you're gonna start making decisions that aren't like cool or that you're gonna really be happy with. So, and then the final touch is highlights. For the highlights, I did use the brush and pencil touch-up texture, which a lot of color pencil artists are recommending. I do recommend this, especially for highlights. The clear fluid that they say to put on top of your color pencil to be able to add layers, I'm not 100% like great with it, and when I work with it and I try and layer color pencil on, it usually kind of scratches off. So maybe I'm not waiting for it to dry long enough, I'm not sure, I don't really know. But for the highlights, I love this product. It looks wonderful, it looks amazing. I love the end result of this drawing, and I hope you guys love it too. And if you do, please support, please like and subscribe, and enjoy more art, because I have more drawings to come. I have some paintings I might line up. I'm more of a drawer, but definitely check me out. Here are my other Furby drawings. Yes, I love that one. And that one I actually did in my sketchbook, so it's like more neutral tone, but I really enjoy them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please check me out. I'll have my stuff on Redbubble as well, and bye.